In this episode, I'm going to show you how to elevate the humble chicken to all new heights with this brine chicken, which has been roasted. We're going to serve it with the most amazing chicken sauce and the roast vegetables, even more simple. All we're going to do is get that chicken, stick it on top of the vegetables. It's a one-pot wonder, all in the oven at the same time, keeping all the flavour in one pan, and this will change your whole outlook on cooking a roast chicken at home. First things first, I'm going to show you how to make the brine for your roast chicken. So really simple here. We've got some bay leaves, some parsley, kosher salt, thyme and garlic, lemons, and then we've got a litre of water. So add your litre of water to the pan. Really simple. Throw all your other ingredients in. All you're going to do with this is bring it up to the boil. Lemons, just cut them into 3 or 4. Just pop them in. Right, once that comes up to the boil now, we're going to take that off the stove, let it cool down completely, and then after that, we're just going to take our chicken and we're going to submerge the chicken into the brine for 24 hours. So again, this is another one of them things that you can get done prior. So if you're going to have a roast chicken dinner on a Sunday or on a Saturday, you know, you can get this done on a Wednesday. Get your chicken brined, get it in the fridge, leave it in there 24 hours, out the brine, let it air dry for a couple of days, ready just to roast, nice and easy for when your guests come. Here's one that we've let already cool down. All we're going to do, get our chicken. I've used a corn-fed chicken here. It's entirely up to you which one you want to use. You can get any chicken from the supermarket. This is about 2.5 kilos in weight. It's already come nicely tied from the butcher as well. There's nothing that you need to do for this. Really simple. Brine's cooled down. Get your chicken, place it straight into the brine. Make sure it's all nicely covered. Leave it in something deep. You know, I've used a pan because I'm lucky enough to have big pans because we're in work. If you're at home, I don't know if you've got a bucket or anything like that in your garage, just give it a nice rinse out. Make sure it's thoroughly clean, bang it in your dishwasher, take it out, brine in, chicken in, bang it in the fridge or somewhere really cool, 24 hours, and then I'll show you the next process, which is going to be taking it out of the brine, placing it on a wire rack or a tray, and just leaving it in your fridge for a couple of days just to completely air dry, and you'll totally see the transformation in the chicken because of this. Chicken is now out the fridge. It's been in that brine for 24 hours. So really nice and simple. That will absorb all them lovely flavors, the lemons, the bay leaves, the parsley, thyme and garlic. All you're gonna do is take your chicken out, get everything off. Make sure the liquid's out of it as well. Okay, then all I want you to do, sit that on a tray and then pop that in the fridge. Up to 4 or 5 days, just let it air dry in the fridge. And people will probably go, what, you're gonna let your chicken go in the fridge and air dry? Believe me, it works. Air dry 4 or 5 days. You'll see the complete change in the bird when you take it out. The skin will almost become translucent and see-through. And then what we're going to do is I'll show you the next stage, which is going to be, we're going to brush that with clarified butter before it goes in the oven, and you will have the crispiest chicken and the tastiest chicken you've ever tasted before. Next stage, chicken has been air dried now for 3 days, and you can see the total change in the skin as well. It's all become nice and dry. And what we're going to actually do with this now is we're just going to take some butter. This is clarified butter. And all we basically do, if you're going to make this at home, real simple way of doing it, you can put a pot of boiling water on the stove, place your bowl on top of the hot water, place your butter in it, just leave it on a gentle simmer, and you'll just see it goes completely clear. And that's the butter that you want. It almost looks like oil. You don't want any of the fat and the impurities that have sunk to the bottom. You just want the top layer, which is all that lovely clarified butter. So all we're going to do now, we're going to take a pastry brush and we're going to give that a really good brush all over the chicken. Make sure you're getting everywhere with it. Don't be shy with it. No, pour a little bit over the top. Don't miss anywhere. You can see it's got that lovely golden colour already on the chicken. Okay. Right. Once we've done that stage, this is where it becomes really, really easy. So the process is, you've brined your chicken now, 24 hours, 2 or 3 days later after it's air dried, it's ready to go. All you're gonna do, brush it with your lovely clarified butter, season that with a little bit of salt on the top before it goes in the oven. Just get that skin nice and crispy again. And then for the next part, I call this like a one pot wonder dish. So the chicken's done, all that process is done, but we're gonna cook everything together. So here, I've just got a swede. Again, you can use any root vegetable. It's entirely up to you. Now what I suggest you do with this is keep your veg nice and chunky because it's gonna cook for the same time that the chicken is in the oven as well. So swede, nice and chunky, into wedges. And you want to keep all your veg relatively the same size. Here, I've got a butternut squash. You can use a pumpkin, that'll work exactly the same way too. Again, keep it nice and chunky, same sort of size as the swede. You know, this is probably going to feed a family of 4 nicely. Okay, some there. I've got a nice little bulb of fennel, so straight down with the fennel. Quarter again, straight down. So all we're going to do, fennel in the bottom. I've got some celery here. I've just peeled the celery, just chopped it. Keep that nice and whole too. The carrots, which we've got. All we're going to do with the carrots, again, nice chunky carrots. All on the bottom. This is creating almost like a trivet as well, so when your chicken's cooking, all them lovely juices from the chicken are going to seep down into the vegetables, so it's going to give it that lovely roast chicken flavour. Find another little cut. Okay, and just take all your veg. Nice even layer across the top. Okay. Then here, just give that little drizzle. Vegetable oil too. Gonna give that nice little season. Gonna place our chicken on top of the vegetables, like that. Little trick, that's why I do the wire rack. Any of the leftover clarified butter, make sure you give that some stick again over your chicken. It's got that lovely golden colour. And all we're going to do with this now is heat your oven up to 250 degrees so it's nice and hot and high. We're going to put the chicken in there for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we're going to lower the oven temperature to 200 degrees and we're going to cook that again for another further 25 minutes. After that, we'll take the chicken out of the oven and we'll let that rest for at least 20 to 30 minutes just so all them juices stay inside the chicken. Whilst that's happening, we're going to take the chicken out the tray to allow it to rest. I'm just going to finish off these lovely vegetables. We're going to hit it with a little bit of lemon juice, some fresh herbs, and during that time, I'll show you how to make the chicken sauce while the chicken's in the oven. Chicken's in the oven now, 200 degrees for 20 minutes. So while that's starting to cook, before we're going to turn the heat down and cook it for that further 20-25 minutes, I'm going to show you how to get on with the chicken sauce. Now, like any of the other sauces, you can do this a couple of days in advance if you'd like. For me, it's one of them things, if I've got to wait 45 minutes to an hour by the time it's rested, I may as well just take my time, open a bottle of wine, have a glass, and just relax and just make the chicken sauce while the chicken's in the oven. So, really, really simple, this recipe. Again, nice hot pan, just plain vegetable oil. You can use rapeseed oil, don't use extra virgin olive oil, whatever you do. Chicken wings, again, off your local butcher, just ask for chicken wings. I use these because, you know, they are really, really great when it comes to caramelising in the pan. They've got loads and loads of flavour and high in fat as well, so it's going to make the sauce delicious. So, chicken wings in. You can hear that that pan's nice and hot. Be careful, the oil is hot, don't burn yourself. So, chicken wings in the pan. Give your hands a wash while they're in the pan. Give them a little shake. Over here, just got a nice onion, like all the other sauces. Keep everything nice and chunky. Another onion, half that. Quarter. Okay, now to go with the chicken sauce, we've got some lemon thyme. You can just use plain thyme. I love the lemon thyme because it adds just that complexity to the sauce as well. And again, lemon and chicken works amazing, and you've already put lemon in the brine, so it makes sense to do it. So, going to give our chicken wings a stir. Make sure they get loads of colour on it. You want a good caramelisation on the chicken wings as well. That's where all the flavour comes from. Okay. So, a couple of other ingredients that we've got. I've got some white peppercorns. You can use black peppercorns. I use white in this because I want the sauce to have a tiny bit of a heat off the pepper. So just whole peppercorns. I haven't ground them or anything like that. And then over here, I've just got about 6 or 7 bulbs of garlic. I've also got, like all the other sauces, some chicken stock, and I've got some veal stock as well. So once them chicken wings are brown, it's got a nice colour now. We're just going to add our onions to the pan. Our garlic as well. Give the pan a little shake. Our thyme. Sprinkle that in. And our peppercorns. Again. Hit the pan with a nice little bit of salt. Give that a nice stir. You can smell the pepper straight away. A little bit like when you're making a peppercorn sauce and you add your peppercorns dry to the pan. You'll smell that intense peppery smell, which works amazing with the chicken. Right, all we're going to do now is veal stock in. And our brown chicken stock goes in as well. Okay, now that is quite a large quantity of sauce. You're probably out of that going to get about 500 ml, so half a litre. But it's one of them things, with all the other sauces and any of the sauces that I do show you, if you've got any left over after you've made your meals, keep them, freeze them in bags, in tubs, in containers, whatever you want to do, and they'll really, really keep. If it's a dark sauce like this where I've added no cream or butter, this will keep for up to 2 weeks. All you need to make sure that you do is when you're reheating it, just bring it right up to the boil. Bring it to the boil, take it off, and it'll be absolutely fine. There's nothing that's going to go off in there, because after you've done all the process and you've strained it, there's no chicken in it. You're just left with dark sauces. Anything with cream in, where it's if you're making a fish sauce or if you're making, I don't know, a peppercorn sauce, you know, you've only got a shelf life of them for 3-4 days max before it starts to turn because of the fat content. If it's something like the pork sauce that we made before, or the venison sauce where I've added a touch of cream at the start, I've cooked that to the point of the dairy's been cooked out long enough, so it'll be absolutely fine. It's still a dark sauce, but I'm saying if it's a real creamy sauce where it's a good 50% cream to the ratio of stock, you're only going to get about 2-3 days maximum on that. Okay, so all we've got to do now is bring this up to a rapid boil, like all the others, reduce it by half. We're going to strain it, and then we're going to reduce it to the sauce consistency that we want. After we've done that, hopefully then the chicken will have rested, and the dish can all come together. Chicken's out the oven now, rested, so that's had 20 minutes, 250 degrees, and then it's had 25 minutes, oven turned down to 200 degrees. I'm just gonna let that rest now. While that's resting, All we need to do is pass our sauce off. So get a pan, sieve, strainer, whatever you've got in your house. Pass the sauce through. And then like all the other sauces, we're just gonna leave that on a rapid reduce to get that to the sauce consistency that we'd like. Let's bring that straight back up to the boil. And we basically want that to just coat the back of the spoon when it's ready. It's not quite there yet, a couple of minutes off. So heat again, really, really high, reduce it really, really fast. While the chicken sauce is reducing, we're just gonna get our chicken, take it off the vegetables, place that onto a wire rack just to rest nicely. And then all I want you to do with your vegetables, get your tray, pop your tray onto the stove somewhere hot. I'm just going to add some chopped chives. I've got some chopped parsley as well. And then I've just got a squeeze of half a lemon in the vegetables. Okay, and all we're going to do with them, just give them a good old mix up. And you can see that pan's going nice and hot now. Hit that with a little bit of salt. And like I said, this is a one-pot wonder, so everything should come together all at once. Then vegetables will be absolutely delicious, nicely roasted now. Take them off the stove. You can see loads of colour on them. And all I want you to do for them, get yourself a nice serving bowl and a board. And all we're going to do with our vegetables, fill up your serving bowl. Plenty of veg. That's delicious, it's all caramelised now. And then what you want to do, all them juices that are left in your tray, pour all them over the top, don't waste them. So you've got all the lovely flavour of the vegetables which have been roasted down, all the flavour that's come out of that lovely chicken. So that can go on the front. Get yourself a nice little jug for your sauce. As you can see now, your sauce is coating the back of the spoon when you run your finger through it. So that's exactly where we want it to be. Get your sauce. Pour that into your serving jug. And then we're just going to get our chicken. See all that lovely juice that's come out of it as well. Going to pop our chicken on there. Make sure that everything's off it. And that's your finished dish. It's chicken which has been brined and roasted, with lovely roast vegetables and chicken sauce.